Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For this round of conversations with local Filipino comics, actually, sobrang intimidated ako when I saw na gusto ni Sir magpa-interview. Because when I was starting out nung late 90s to early 2000s, I was part of a lot of I was part of a mailing list, yung alamat mailing list. I always see him post. So one of the pioneers actually ng mga online comics during that time. One of the few first na nag-upload ng online format,
Yes.
si Sir Toby
Well,
Abbott
well,
of
I
Diliman.
will I'll just have to append medyo hindi official online format pa nun.
Yeah, well, it evolved na rin kasi, di ba? Parang currently
Mm,
there's a true online format, parang something
yes.
that MacLeod si
Scott McCloud,
parang
yeah.
na-foresee niya before that there would be a format for online. Not exactly kung ano yung sinulat niya doon sa Reinventing
Mm-mm.
Comics, but it's something similar. Pero uh, one of the one of the few creators that tried online early on.
Yes, yeah. I guess that's a better way to say it. In my case naman kasi it was because of cost. Diba? While a lot were willing to invest on printing stuff or zines, I went libre ang web space sa GeoCities. So sige, doon natin ilagay.
Yeah, hindi, parang previous conversation, parang we miss yung times that it was more affordable to go the online route. Kasi ngayon, may mga bayad na yung like hosting for pictures and
Mm-mm.
everything. But before, parang, yeah, may free services, mas mura yung
Mm-mm.
domains. So,
But it's only may bayad if you want your own domain and if
yeah.
you're hosting it yourself. Diba? Kasi now naman there's the joy of ang daming portals to choose from. Diba?
I,
Kailangan mo na lang piliin kung saan, assuming may exclusivity yung iba.
pero ibig sabihin nun, mas matalino sa amin si Sir kasi most of us talaga gung-ho. Hindi, nagpiprint kami kahit na it was too expensive. And we didn't foresee na, yun nga, mas wider yung distribution online kasi it's basically international, it's global.
Mm. Pros and cons, pros and cons. Which is, I think, going to be the main focus of this lahat ng mga pros at cons na dinaanan.
So, ayun
My
nga,
God.
going back, when
Mhm.
did you start, sir?
So, first of all, please stop calling me sir.
Ay, sorry.
Toby is fine. Nako-conscious ako.
Ano sa,
Kasi kahit naman ako na-intimidate ako to be in this interview. So, sige, the start was um, way back in the 90s. Syempre, Alamat was was the grass, parang was the beginning of it all, di ba? Um, Alamat 101 was one of the comics that came out. I was inspired by Budget Tan and Brandy Tan's Payaso, if I remember correctly. And then there were, of course, Jerry Alangalan's Wasted. But then one of the biggest that shocked me was the comic Flashpoint, which
mm,
was illustrated by Carlo Vergara. Then you had David Hontiveros, Alex Santos, Joey Goku, etc., etc. Basta they released Flashpoint, which for me sobra akong na shock kasi it was in color. And then it was watercolor pa yung coloring ng I think it was the first two issues yata kasi the third issue went or was it the second issue went ala Sin City, lots of high contrast black and whites.
I think it was
Uh,
the first issue was the colored one. Then it became
mm,
grayscale. And the third one
yes.
was the
The
more
parang Sin
in, uh,
City-ish. Kasi yun yung medyo mindset na ng villain, yung perspective niya na medyo surreal. But basically that those comics really hit me hard na parang shit, pwede pala magka-comic sa Pilipinas. And um, back then, Payaso showed me na pwedeng dark din yung comics. And I was thinking, sige, I want to write something similar to shows I liked. And at that time, while everyone was very much into X-Files, I was more Millennium. I don't know if you're familiar with that show.
Yeah.
Um, but it was about slow burn. It was about focus on the relationships that rather than the mystery. So, doon nagsimula yung Diliman. And the main reason I chose the title Diliman was I like the wordplay. It meant, in Filipino, it can mean parang dilim or darkness. But it also meant the place, which is
Mm.
Diliman. Um, it sounded cool because it was a single word. And then I liked that it sounded distinctly Filipino. Diba? It didn't sound like an English word like darkness. Diba? It was so uh, embraced that name. Um, then drew from my experiences as a spirit questor back then. I was one of the not even a big time. I was like in just a few official quests. But drew from those experiences, drew from my own personal experiences on weird stuff, and crafted the stories that I did back then. Um, yeah, I I wanted I wanted it to be a movie. I knew it was not likely, so I started imagining it as a TV show. Eventually, wrote the comic as if it was a TV show, so it was sort of trying to get the feel of episodes. Um, and then since I couldn't afford to have it printed, when I actually joined one of the conventions at Bahay ng Alumni, I actually burned issues on CDs. And I was selling the CD as parang, I think it was 6 issues pa yata nun
I
for
think I
a
have
CD.
one of those CDs. Actually, I
My
was looking
God.
for it when I first invited you. I was looking for your stuff. Kasi yun nga, it's like 20 plus years of
Ano yan?
of, inven-
2006 yata
of
yon yung Comic Con na
inventory na
yon.
rin. Parang ang hirap na maghanap.
Mm-mm.
Yun nga,
Eh,
if I
At
had like access to my EDSA mail pa, parang
tas wala pa akong ano nun. As in, I burned the CDs. I was thinking I'll just sell them from my bag. Because I was attending Comic Con and I just wanted to parang,
mm.
um, get my stuff out there.
Pero
And
ano
then
yun,
I
it
find,
was a common practice then kasi parang
mm,
it wasn't really established about who the exhibitors are and I know some of the creators just go to the event tapos they don't really want to be tied down the whole day.
mm-mm,
So they bring some copies of their zines ganyan tapos whoever wants a copy or whoever wants to buy or
yes.
they like set up meetups doon sa event.
Tapos at that time, ano pa ako, so I was close to um, Nair Pedrina because we both were, um, um, there was the, both in ABS but also the Comicero group. Lubos na
Yeah,
nakilala. And
actually
then I
yeah.
was also
Both of
sort of close
you
to
and
Albert sa online.
Hiner was like
Mm-mm,
pioneers ng online kasi Hiner is yung online presence, big online presence back then
mm-mm.
with yung sanduguan niya.
Yes, yes. So yun. So, as in ano lang ako, nakisali ako sa table nila, tapos doon ako nagbenta. But other than that release, I never really had a formal release. I never sold the issues individually. I never got it printed.
Until
I never.
2024 yung,
Well,
yung
it's actually worse. It's um parang I went through making the issues around 2000, 2004, siguro mga 10 issues na nagawa ko and they were all just online. And then nawalan ako ng gana kasi syempre there at around that time I was feeling everyone else was finding their audience and I was not. It was an honest feeling of parang okay, siguro wala masyadong nakakagets ng work. So sobrang bumagal between 2004 till 2011 that I would sporadically still work on the comic. It was actually my current partner na Rocky who really insisted that I finish the book. As in, bumili siya ng scanner printer and he was like, tapusin mo kasi sayang. Um, so, yun, around 2011, nagawa ko yung last issue. I had everything now online on Blogspot. And then, I just gave up on it na. I told myself parang that's the furthest it will go. It was only recently that nabuhay ulit yung idea to make it because I found out there's a software called Procreate that allowed you to make comics. And I told myself, sige, I'll dive back into that world, but this time I'll make it as a webcomic talaga. Kasi ang masakit sa original book, I don't have most of the original art anymore. Through the years, nawala na nasira sa baha, natambak, natapon. And then all the digital files I have are like sobrang low quality. Hindi siya pwede pa-printing. So, wala na talaga siyang buhay. So, hence, the Diliman Generation now was created sort of like I wanted to explore that world again sa story. But I decided to approach it na those who read the original book, may secondary layer ng narrative na magagets nila. But if you don't have that second layer, okay lang. But if you have that, mas ma-appreciate mo yung
that was my question. Para bang is it like required that you know the first book?
I'm approaching this new book as parang it's standalone. But then if you try reading the first book, you'll start to get additional insight on why things are happening. Because the concept of the new book is that the comic Diliman is in world. It is also present in the story.
Very ano nga eh. As in, I was you asked me, I asked if I could read and you gave me the link. Tapos like it's 2 decades since I've read the original.
Oh my God.
So tapos parang it's familiar pero in the sense na parang I forgot about it na. The same way that you when you mentioned si Hiner, I remembered, oh nga, as in, ang laki rin ng online presence dati ni Hiner. So yun nga, and it just dawned on me na parang dahil nga less people are talking about our comics, parang mas ang daming creators that have gone to the wayside, kumbaga. Kasi ano lalo na parang recently nung December parang somebody tried like making a list of influential creators top 10. So parang sobrang ano yung paggawa ng list kasi every 5 years there's like a creator that influences other creators pero that creator might not be active anymore at this time. So parang yung list na yun is mostly would show recency bias kung sino na lang yung mga natira. But
true.
But during nung 90s, the early 2000s, there were lots of creators doing new things na hindi ginagawa ng local industry or local scene nung time na yun.
And it's tricky rin kasi syempre in the past there was that huge push for manga as the approach, diba? So
well, it was
for
not really
people who sorry.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a push, but it's more of it was the fad, it was the trend because that's what
yes
being shown on local networks. Dati naman wala pa naman masyadong access to the internet. So it's what the kids would gravitate towards too.
And it would usually get more attention than things that were not. So with that, of course, as the landscape, medyo, in my case, na-feel ko talagang, okay, hindi talaga ako, parang salingkit talaga ako when it comes to it. And then, in the passing years, I've always been fascinated seeing how ang laki na ng width the diversity rin sa comics, diba? You have everyone doing practically anything na. There's autobiographical stuff, there's erotica, there's sci-fi, there's mixed genres, there's historical, there's alternate history. Ang galing.
But when you felt yung that way, were you still following the local scene or hindi na?
Slightly. Um, I will admit that syempre nagkatampo ko. So I was barely attending events, but I was still supporting where I can. Um, there was a time I was follow. I mean, I always follow Carl's work. Carl is a dear friend, and um, I've always wished he was more recognized on how much he has helped shape the industry. Not just sa comics, but also in terms of for the LGBTQIA plus community. Um, being the comic was such an eye opener for so many people, and it's parang many see Jaja Zaturna as parang okay, it broke into different media, it got a wider audience. But parang na-overlook din nila how much it allowed people to also um, learn more about that world. Um, because like in my case, while the comic that helped me come out was Enigma from Vertigo Comics, uh, Jaja Zatorna became a comic that allowed me to see it in a more local lens. And
Mm-hmm.
diba, that for me was invaluable. And when I was growing up, I didn't really have role models. In terms of media, it was what you had the Dolphy movies where he would play flamboyant roles. You had um, a lot of it is always more pang comedy sa TV or sa movies,
Yeah,
di ba?
oo nga.
It was rarely more serious topics or it was rarely more introspective. So for me, in terms of what I was exposed to, the comic gave me that, and that was huge. It helped me feel I was normal. Um, and then lalo na when he later released One Night in Purgatory, and
Mm-mm.
sobrang ang laki ng tulong sa akin nun. And I could imagine how that reached other people as well. But wala, unsung hero. Um, parang they there's a lot of creators who do really good work, but we don't have an existing system that helps recognize those things, diba?
Yeah.
We only have a system that recognizes things that already are popular. Tapos parang sila na lang lagi na pag-uusapan.
Yeah, I mean, parang napag-usapan din namin to ni Ma'am Bambi before na parang most of and most din ng mga new creators really feel this that uh, those who are already famous or those who already made their names, they're sila lagi yung nababanggit.
Mm.
Uh, and parang isang reason I think is that since we're talking about IPs, uh, the local networks own IPs that might be similar. So they don't really push you the spotlight on other creators that might have similar IPs that they own.
Mm-mm.
So kung ano lang yung nasa stable nila or the
Mm.
licenses that they own, that's why it keeps being regurgitated that this is yung local comics. Pero yun nga, I really wish that there would be more people outside nung circle ng comics that features din. Kasi yun nga, kami, my reach is the same people.
But you got published. Ako after 20 years. But
Well,
yeah,
yun nga eh.
natuwa
I
lang
mean,
ako na napansin ako when I started doing the new book. Um, yeah, but yeah, sorry, you
pero
were saying.
yun nga, I mean, you might not felt that you were seen or read, but parang creators mention you.
Yeah, that weirds me out to be honest. many were teasing na parang I'm one of the OG, and I'm not. I siguro I tried during that time, but I don't really count myself as one of the OGs kasi nga I didn't feel that I broke into the industry the way others did. Um, and maybe it's just perspective. Maybe it's just um, maybe I was too harsh on myself. But there was always that feeling lang na parang small fish in the big pond. Parang
Pero yung most
it's
of,
funny that there have been events na bigla na lang may lalapit na, "Sir, nandiyan na ulit yung comic nyo. Kasi dati nakikita ko sa mailing list." And I'm like, "Oh my God, naalala mo yung mailing list."
yeah, di
But
ba? Kasi yun nga, you, in a way, you'd inspired then a lot of creators, younger creators during nung time na yun, at that mailing list. Kasi yung frequency of you posting, di ba? If you see someone like post their creation, it pushes you to make your own creation.
mm-mm,
Truthfully, para sa mga nakikinig, most people know me from the events. But most of them don't really know that I do create then my own comics.
mm-mm.
As in, parang ang nangyari sa akin is mostly, o si John, pag may tanong ka about comics, magtanong ka kay John. Yun lang yung alam nila. But
Naging
not
archivist.
really recognize me as a creator. Pero, and while I made peace na, sige, parang, ko, dakilang NPC, kumbaga. I mean, natutuwa rin ako that sometimes may mga tao na, may mga would, would approach me sa events and say, or may dala silang luma akong comics and magbabasahin sila.
Mm-mm.
Meron kanyan. So sometimes
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
we
ayun
we
nga,
never really see the influence we make sometimes, I guess.
parang it's just a matter of perspective pag minsan we think na hindi nakikita yung ginagawa natin or hindi
Mm-mm.
na ano, but like I've interviewed what's her name, Jonette,
Jeanette. Mm.
Jeanette, yeah, and he
Mm-mm.
mentioned that she mentioned that you were a great influence on her.
Yeah, we're still good friends. We still play tabletop RPGs every few weekends. But yeah, she's been one of those who has always been supportive, and through the years has I know she makes her own content now, more sa podcast audio side. Um, I'm not sure if I can mention. I forget if they're live now or if it's still under construction, but I was able to preview some, and it's very steamy. but but yeah, it's interesting. It's nice that you mentioned remembering my work kasi nga um, it's still a labor of love. Diba? I still have the entire first book online, and it's over 300 pages.
Yeah, and
Um,
yeah, would you don't really see a future that it would be printed. I mean, with the
um,
technology right now, it's we could like uh
Kasi it's all at 72 dpi, and it's all smaller than a bond paper size. So parang if you're going to print it, it's going to be a lot of upscaling. I loathe the thought of running it through AI to try to keep it pristine. I am terrified at what that will do. Some have asked if I will re-release it, and I just told them na lang na if this new book makes waves, then if I have enough budget, I'll probably redo the first book and redraw it. Um, it might lose a bit of its charm kasi nga part of its charm was very gung-ho ako nung younger years ko sa drawing. Medyo medyo may roughness yung approach ng art,
yeah,
which
as in ano nga when I was rereading it, up to at least 150, one page 150. Uh may rawness siya that it lends very well to this to you yung the story.
Mm-mm.
As in, parang yung grit, yung grit niya is parang talagang really lends well to the darkness ng story.
And ano yun, so syempre that was pre pre-digital, so that was all Unipen,
I have a question kasi
Sharpies,
parang when
and
I was
watercolor.
reading yung earlier ones, you had like commentaries sa baba. I
Sa
think
blog.
nung episode 6 to 7 nata nawala. Pero I really like yung commentaries mo that how you liked how the page turned out, yung texture nung pentel pen is seen or
Yeah,
yung mentioning that, oh, thank you Photoshop for the instant zoom.
the earlier, well, again, it was me trying something which I felt was interesting, but then feeling again no one noticed. Um, when I started uploading it this as a blogger, I sort of wanted it to feel like parang kung nanood ka ng DVD na may director's commentary.
Mm.
So parang I wanted to like add comments on every page. But then, um, as we are as creators, we sometimes look at the stats on the readership. And when I was noting parang hindi masyado nag-move naman yung numbers, I was like parang nobody's reading it, so I kind of stopped then. I did carry that idea over on some of the tabletop RPG projects I worked on naman, and the book also has side commentary. Because I like getting that sort of insight. And um, whenever I have a chance with some creators, I even kung matagal na usapan yan, I go through each page and I start asking questions.
Yeah. Actually, for the readers, as in, sobrang gold yan para sa mga creators that you
Mm-mm.
mention or you ask things about yung book. Kasi it's better than having wala. Ako, I experienced that. Personally, ako din, as in, I put out a lot of work, tapos I get so few inputs from other
Mm-mm.
people din. So, parang yun nga, magkakaroon ka talaga ng feeling na may nagbabasa ba ng work ko?
It's times nga like that na parang kahit ayaw nila yung work, sabihin nyo lang para at least alam namin na
At least
tapos na.
parang may nagbasa, di ba? Parang alam namin may nagbasa. Oo. As in, at least may feedback. Parang, kaya I like talking to creators kasi I get to like tell them na, oh, yung at one point when I was like, I was in college then when Diliman was still coming out sa mailing list. And malaking source of inspiration of the creators that were posting dun sa mailing list, of posting kung ano yung ginagawa nila. Like si Hinera, si Narino, di ba? They were posting mga inilalabas nilang indie projects, indie experiments that they were doing at that time. And doon noon wala pa masyadong events, di ba? It's mostly like
Yeah.
meetups sa Comic Quest or
Mm-mm.
an exhibit ng ano yung mas malaking self-publisher somewhere, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Or signing ni Arnold sa Fully Book. Mga ganun lang dati yung events namin eh.
Mm-mm. And then ano pa, it was tricky pa kasi parang during those events, sometimes hindi mo alam kung pwede kang sumausaw. Parang,
Yeah, as in, parang, uh, kasi since it's their event, parang ang
oo,
hirap
di
din
ba? Parang,
di ba, mingle with friends sila eh.
or parang you might be intruding if you bring your work. So parang hindi mo alam kung
Tapos
papasok ka
merong
doon.
mga informal events. If you were informal activities, then notorious yung Mega Mall, bowling alley, and the food court. Because that's where the learn people usually hang out. So maraming mga would-be creators that hang out there that show their portfolios or mga ideas
Mm-mm.
sila for their comics. Iba nga din, I wish that they did zines para meron may at least parang tangible na physical copies. Kasi ang dami ko nakitang ideas na I've never seen in print.
Mm-mm. Kaya yun. So, back at the grind and trying
Ah,
to trying
So,
to get my story out.
what pushed you back? You made your name sa tabletop, so it's a different narrative or way of
Mhm.
storytelling. What made you decide to go back? Your partner
Well,
pushed you, you mentioned, yeah.
yeah, Rocky's always been supportive of everything um, I do because I'm the guy I'm the in the relationship I'm the weirdo who sometimes hyper focuses on a project, and then as he always teases me, I'm the piano guy dun sa sa Muppets nga ba yan? Sesame Street? Sa Sesame Street who at some point bila lang, no, no, no. Tapos magpapanik kasi hindi ko magawa yung project. And then after a breakdown, a meltdown, babalik ako, gagawin ko ulit. So, um, uh, the idea of getting back into comics has always been something that, has been nibbling. Um, I love telling stories. And in my earlier, younger years, I was thinking I'd do that as a day job in terms of film and TV. Tried getting into those industries. Nag-director's apprenticeship ako sa GMA, nagtrabaho ako sa ABS, um, tried doing some short films also. In the end, I wasn't too keen on the industry because I didn't feel comfortable with parang you had to know everyone to be in those industries. The
Yeah.
rubbing of shoulders was
It's
very part of
parang
the
part ng
culture.
business and culture
Oo
ng,
eh,
ng
na
industry.
kapag hindi mo kilala yung artista, may insulto na sila and they won't work with you. Di ba? It was not necessarily bad because that's showbiz, but that's how it works. But I realized I was not built for that. I was terrible with faces. I barely remember names. Um, so I shifted from that to creating tabletop role-playing games because that allowed me to create worlds and stories with quote-unquote unlimited budget kasi imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what that lacked in terms of comparing it to comics was walang permanence. Diba? The session you play, unless it's recorded and then edited and then live streamed or shown online, it's that moment at the table and then wala na. People, if you weren't in that game, you don't know what happened. Diba? So part of me still wanted to be able to tell stories in a more permanent way. And um, comics was that avenue that I kept wanting to go back to, but never felt confident enough to do so. So there have been a number of times through the years na bibili na naman ako ng sketchbook or bibili na naman ako ng pens. Tapos, mahihinaya na naman din. Tatamaran na naman ako. Hindi ko na naman tutuloy. Procreate really was the one. And no, this is not a plug. I am not I'm not paid to talk about it. But it really gave me that, oh my God, diba? I can draw, um, I can I can color, I can easily erase and redo art, and it won't cost me extra money, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kasi it's
And
all
as
there.
in, this is a good point for creators or would-be creators that are listening to us, that you just have to find yung medium that you're very
Yes.
comfortable with. Kasi
Mm,
pag minsan nga, when I was doing traditional, nakatamad kasi you have to set up your table, you have to set up
mm,
your pens, you have to set up everything, your references and everything. But with the advent of having like mga digital na pads and
mm,
uh, yung the Cintiqs and the all the even the iPads, 'di ba?
mm.
As in with lahat ng tools mo at in one device na lang, nagpapadali ng ano. So parang for those who knock yung people who does digital, it's the same with any other medium naman eh. 'Di ba?
Mm. They're
You can't
tools.
use digital if you don't know how to do yung traditional.
And you'll still have to learn to find your own visual language and approach.
Mm.
I mean, I know my art is still terrible. My characters don't look the same. I have to rely on visual cues so you can tell who's who. Um, but I always considered myself more a storyteller than an artist. So parang I'm just happy people bear with my art. Um, I did look at other software also, like there was Clip Studio and the like, but in the end, um, Procreate for me felt the more comfortable approach.
Yeah. Ayun
So,
naman eh. It really depends on where you're comfortable. I both use Procreate and I use both Clip. I also use Clip. I still use Adobe only because of familiarity. Pero
pero mahal na eh. Mahal ng
uh,
Adobe. Kaya ako, I shifted. Well, I've been using this browser-based editor called Photopea. So
Photopea.
it's like Photoshop, but it's browser-based. So for small scale image manipulation, it works naman.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think my son is using Photopea din. Kasi
and
nga,
then
it's too
lately, I've
expensive.
been
I can't buy him a
yes.
license for Photoshop. Though,
Kaya na yun may affinity.
the Photoshop that I'm using is very old.
Mm,
It says 4. So, kasi some people think that they have to like always upgrade their software. I mean, if you're,
mm,
kung meron pa nga akong 5.5, yun pa rin gagamitin ko.
yeah, and then there's Affinity now, which is free. So that's an option. I'm still learning to use it also.
Different kasi
Kasi,
yung UI eh. So it's meron ulit
yeah,
kang learning curve to
true.
about it.
Yeah.
So about your writing, di ba? Yun nga, you've done really well in tabletop. So have you like you call this used it the narrative for your tabletop campaigns sa writing ng comics mo?
Well, kasi when it comes to RPGs, you know that the story or the experience is never complete. Diba? The player involvement is key to the
Mhm.
final story. Diba? You can always write the framework, but then you'll have to see where the players might take
Ayun,
it.
the
And then you
choices that they
anticipate.
do.
Oo. Unless you're like making something super railroad, which many gamers hate, but
Yeah.
many gamers also still actually prefer without admitting it kasi ayaw nila ma-stress minsan sa decisions. Um, so that sort of helped kasi nga when I wrote the scripts, I kind of just focused na lang on the key moments. And then um, I my scripts are not tight. I don't go full Alan Moore with all the descriptions and dialogue written down. I do have um, so like I have a spreadsheet that's the timeline of the entire story from pre-Hispanic to modern day. Um, that is broken down to columns for each character. So parang at what point they're born, what they go through, at what points they die, if they die. Um, and then that allows me to weave also na parang at this point in this year, if this character is doing this, then this other character is that age. And yung parang, so I get an overview. But then a lot of the finer breakdowns of scenes I sort of approach it like a role-playing game wherein as I'm working on the comic, I let the characters guide me on what they might do in that scene. Kasi parang I know si ganito makukulong, but maybe lumaban ba siya sa pulis at that time o umiyak lang ba siya?
Yeah. We were talking
So,
about you your
process.
tabletop process of
Yeah.
writing. Kasi I know
So
I
yun.
know a certain writer ganun din siya. He makes character sheets for yung
Mm.
yung ano niya, mga characters niya. Tapos pag minsan if he can't decide, he rolls.
Hindi naman. I don't go naman that far. But I do let the characters parang guide me on what they'll end up doing. Yeah. So, like, I might have a scene wherein, kunyari, may guy na ini-interrogate ng cops. Um, I might start drawing it na at first, sobrang violent siya na they had to be held down. But then when I read it again, parang di bagay, then I'll start over and I'll change it. So I'm a bit more loose in that kasi parang I still like finding that spontaneity when it comes to telling the story rather than having everything sobrang lockdown na.
So you mentioned that you more identify as storyteller. So you identify more as a writer than an artist.
Mm.
Sa art styles, where do you like get your influences? And reading pa lang yung earlier works mo, you were very keen on symbolism.
Yeah, well, that's the esoteric side of my younger years. Kasi nga when I was really young, rebellious second child in the family. So I really dove deep into learning all I can about everything from New Age lore to spiritualism, occultism, and the like. Um, that plus the spirit quester background gave me this deeper understanding on parang the layers of meaning, symbols, and words can have. And I like exploring that in terms of the stories I build. Um, in terms of writing, um, deep down, I always loved horror. More Clive Barker than Stephen King. Uh, more Banana Yoshimoto than um, Shakespeare. So I like more evocative than technical or deep. Um, but then when it came to art, so Duncan Fegredo has always been a
Mm.
huge influence. Enigma literally is a comic that saved my life because I identified with it so much in so many levels. And I loved how his art, um, the people never looked pretty. They looked more like they were too busy doing something to be pretty. Because like when you look at comics, especially superhero comics, it's about the awesome pose, diba? The splash page, the awesome pose, triumphant, the triumphant moment. They you look up to them. But then with Figueredo's art, I liked how it almost felt like parang napicturean sila at the worst moment. So
Mm.
yung awkward body pose,
So hindi
yung
siya yung
facial
parang
expressions.
post models na
Oo eh. And I like that in whenever I read whenever I read comics he worked on, Face, Enigma, I love that sort of energy and I always try to capture that when I do my art. Um, the other influences, of course, um, syempre now the names elude me. Bigla na nawawala yung names. I'm always bad with names. Um, uh, Bill Sienkiewicz, if that's the right way to say it,
Mm.
diba? Always, again, hyperkinetic energy in the way he does panels. Diba? Yung magkaka-shot ng mukha na mukhang abstract na yung art, but
Yes.
nagets mo kasi he
In
wanted
super
to
experimental
emphasize.
layouts instead
Mm-mm,
of the grid, the usual grid.
yeah. David Mack was a huge influence also. Kabuki. Um, has been one of those comics that made me realize how much more you can push the visuals ng comics. Partner always teases me how I practically was fanboying when I met him sa Singapore to the point na nahiya na kami pareho sa sarili ko. I was like on the verge of tears thanking him that he inspired me sa comics and he was like, oh, okay. Well, kasi medyo matagal akong nagbo-blabber sa harap niya. Um, but yeah, yun. I and then Frank Whiteley has been one of the more recent napapamura ako when I see his work. Kasi nga, again, he found that nice middle ground of people don't have to look pretty, but they can also still look nicely posed while remaining energetic.
Yeah.
Diba?
Pero I think that's
All-Star
more on his
Superman,
editorial
Zambezi.
mandate. Eh.
Yeah. Hindi, but ano, ang galing din kasi niya mag-capture ng motion. Di ba? Parang
Yeah. Mm-mm.
talagang you feel like frozen in time yung mga shots. And then, lalo na when Multiversity, All-Star Superman, grabe the way the panels would work or the way you could feel the weight in a pose. Galing.
You mentioned that you were like into esoteric stuff. Ever felt uh, when you're like making a page or you're writing your script? Kasi I know there's like creators that feels like yung intent nila is like spells for like writing
Mm.
and the visuals like do you ever felt that way when you're creating comics?
Um, I avoid it consciously. I feel um so in context, younger years I was absolute believer in these things. There were a lot of things that upon doing this effects to turn out, and it's hard to believe they were all coincidental. Um, Older, more present me does state maybe a lot of it was coincidental, maybe a lot of it was real. In the end, people are free to decide what they prefer. Hence, the responsible thing is to not use actual stuff that may result in stuff in the comic. Um, I know sila Alan Moore, they see their works as spells, diba?
Yeah,
They
they see it.
write their stories because they want to change the world. I don't want to do that, but I still do want to change the world. So uh, there are messages or statements that I do clearly state in my comics, which are part of what I want the world to be different about. But I also try to insert learnings I have. So like I think it's in um, issue 2 ng Diliman Generation now where I talk about fear constructs and thought forms. Um, because I want to help parang educate people na sometimes yung feeling mong may multo sa bahay might be just your fear manifesting because you're so afraid so now it actually manifests to scare you more. So it's a self-fulfilling curse or to look at it. So I like inserting those things kasi parang whether or not people believe it, then at least it's something for them to think about and it might help
Mhm.
enrich their lives. But I don't do any actual attempts of magic in my works only because I also believe in things do come back to you when you do those things. Kung may kukulamin ka, babalik din sa'yo at makukulam ka rin. So I don't I stay safe.
So, Diliman Generation now, what's your plans? Is it gonna be another 300 plus pages?
Well, volume one's already 270. Hopefully it will be out within this first quarter. Um, Paulo has gone through it, has given me editor's notes. So I'm going through the fourth revision of first volume. I actually had to redraw it kasi so when I was starting Dilemma Generation now, my original plan was a webcomic.
Hmm.
And then I was finished with the first issue and already working on the second and third issue when Paulo contacted me and was like, I want to publish it. So I suddenly realized I had to redraw everything. But go lang, at least it was early.
So,
Um,
when you say that it was done in web format, the scrolling, the horizontal scrolling part,
um,
you were
I
doing it
was
light way?
I was planning it to be horizontal scroll. Yes, I was planning it to be a webcomic, so the dimensions were still wonky. The While I did remember this time to do 300 dpi, my actual dimensions were more fitted for a screen than for printing.
Mm-hmm.
So they were way smaller than a legal sheet of paper to use a general dimension size. So sobrang I had to really um, change and redo some of the art in order to
So
make it
when
work.
you're doing your artwork digitally, you still do it like actual print size.
Now I am doing it on the expected print size at the
Okay.
300 dpi
Well,
because I
yeah.
Procreate. Ano pa nga my first attempt because I was doing it so wrong. Um, I'd have one Procreate file, and then the layers were the pages. So
Yeah.
in one layer, my folder of layers, issue one, and then page one, then page two, ganyan.
Yeah.
But then I realized tuloy, I
That's
could only
gonna
do
be
that
a
kasi ang liit.
but it's gonna be a big file.
Mhm. So I had to redo, and now I have one Procreate file has, I'm sorry, one folder has one page per
Page.
one file per page, and then that file can have multiple
Is
layers.
that the way you
Uh,
used to do it then traditionally? Actual size, or it's just the paper size that you use?
Dati it was I drew everything on bond paper,
Bond paper.
and then that wasn't necessarily one page. I might use a bond paper for like two panels, and then I'd scan and then on Photoshop adjust it to.
Mm.
Kaya nga sayang eh. Parang had I kept all the art, in theory, I could just rescan them and then
Yes, and you
end
could
it eh. But
remake.
I was able to save a bundle of the pages, but not all. So I'll really have to redraw pa rin if I were ever to do that. But yun, so the volume 1 is 270 pages. Volume 2 generally will be around the same number of pages because of printing um, concerns. The moment you're over 270, um, medyo iba na yung binding, tas medyo iba na yung price point. So, um, at this rate, I actually am worried baka magka-volume 3. Um, kasi the page limitation I'm realizing is affecting how I'm telling the story. So, the original plan was 13 issues. Kasi nga, since webcomic, wala akong pakialam sa page count.
Yeah.
But now that I have to work with the page count in mind, and 270 pages is a good, comfortable trade thickness for a price point, then I might have to have a third volume just so that the story is told the way I want it in terms of pacing and depth. Um, I'm just hoping that that won't be a problem for the readers kasi syempre baka mamaya ang haba at ma-feel nila matagalan. Kasi wala, slow burn talaga yung kwento eh.
Will you be releasing the episodes separately, or are you planning to go for the volume na kaagad?
Um, for the printing, volume is the goal because the story admittedly is better absorbed as I kind of approached it kasi like a Netflix show. You want to binge watch it. So parang you want to go, you read an episode, you read an episode, you read an episode, and then doon ka titigil. Kasi
Mm.
na-feel mo yung momentum. Um, but long term, I might still release the episodes all individually. Um, I'll still have to check if that is um, from what I've researched kasi parang people don't really pay online. So to
Yeah.
have it online as a paid gate system is not gonna make me anything. Personally, I feel like I don't mind having it all online, and then if you love it, buy the trades.
Yeah, actually
I just
that's
don't
yun na
know.
rin yung philosophy ko ngayon. Kasi since how many books are we printing? It's like
Yeah, eh.
2,000? And how many
And
people are in
parang
the Philippines?
yeah, and then if you rely on just the printed stuff to reach an audience, parang ang liit ng marireach,
Yeah, maliit
'di
yung
ba?
reach, and parang it's better if you reach a lot. Tapos may frequency. The frequency creates interaction eh. So if you like you finish a volume, you and they expect a schedule of when you release it.
Yeah.
Parang nag-create siya ng anticipation, and nga. It's the same with what we were doing no early 2000s, except ngayon parang mas meron ka ng metrics talaga with, like with the
Mhm.
social media and everything.
Yeah, true. And so I'm looking at hopefully releasing the individual episodes online. Um, I know there will be a full version of episode 1 online soon. Hindi pa siya nag-release, so I don't wanna preempt it.
So it's
Um,
so there's gonna be a platform for it.
yeah, I have a teaser in Comixology. Because back then, when I wanted to do the webcomic, I was trying to find a platform that was not afraid. of mature content.
Mm-hmm.
Most platforms kasi were like, we no nudity, no extreme violence,
I
ganyan-ganyan.
think
And
it's the old bias with the comics is for kids, but it's not.
yeah, and you can't really blame them kasi syempre they want to avoid lawsuits. Um, so when I saw Comixology, tama ba? Sorry, I'm saying the wrong name. Yeah, Comixology was the app that's
The app,
different.
yeah.
This was, oh my God, Global Comics. See,
Global
I'm
Comics.
saying the wrong name. I'm saying the wrong name. I'm not sponsored. When I saw Global Comics and I saw that they had also a lot of other mature titles, I'm like, oh sige, dito ko na lang lalagay. But it was around that time that I was uploading na the teasers there when Paolo contacted me, and then became my publisher. So I'll have to see pa how much of it I can release online. Tuloy, to just try to gain momentum, I've also been releasing mini comics. Um, there's the Tiny Terrors, which are 8-page micro comics that I released sa recent Comic at events.
Mm.
Um, they are digitally online currently in Blue Sky and will also be online in Comic Space soon. Um, but I parang want to try to at least get myself out more as a creator because I can't rely naman on just Diliman as the way
Yeah.
people will know of my work.
Actually, that's my next question. Kasi parang my wife was, you were in Quentun's event last year, the
Mhm.
October one. Tapos you were selling more all ages material.
Yeah, that's day job.
This is
So
a job. Yun nga yung
leaderboard, yeah, leaderboard is part of my day job. We worked on a comic that was sort of like to bridge the gap between the geek parents and their kids.
Mm-mm.
Kasi parang kids nowadays have their own world. They have Minecraft, they have all
Roblox.
these, yeah, all these virtual worlds which their parents are not familiar with anymore. But then their parents who are geeks naman they also have their own geek worlds, whether it's Super Mario, Ninja Gaiden, etc., etc. So we kind of wanted to make a brand which allowed a bridge of some sort for them to talk about the things they like. So we made four kids who love different things and how they get into different hijinks, and we're hoping it will become an animated series.
Mm.
Ang problema lang, the animation industry is currently still recovering from the pandemic. So if you look at all the projects going out now, they're all sequels, they're all spin-offs. They're
Mm.
not investing on new brands.
New brands.
Diba?
Yeah.
So like Lars of the Universe is coming out, which is a spin-off of Steven Universe, and so on and so forth. Um, so even if we pitched the idea sa Annecy, sa creative, well, we had rave feedback from a number of them, but they have regretfully told us that they're not buying shows yet. And it's been that for the last 2 years na.
But yeah. Mm.
Kasi nga,
Medyo, yeah,
it's ano eh,
big blow talaga yung pandemic within the
bumabawi pa
industry.
sila
Yeah.
sa losses ng 2 years ng walang ano eh. So, so we're hoping that will break ground eventually. And in the meantime, I at least I'm staying creative in both safe and not safe for work material.
Yeah. So aside from Diliman, are you like developing other stories that you might release somewhere
I'm I'm
down in the
intentionally
future?
trying not to kasi mahirap ma-divide ang creative attention. Um, there's a dream project in my head of writing a very life slice of life sort of comic story strip, um, only to try to represent more um, aspects of what I feel my experiences are like, which are not that readily shared. I mean, parang we have a lot of um, we have a lot of lifestyle or slice of life stories that is very specific in terms of demographic, diba?
Mm.
May mga uh, mahirap magsalita, baka mali yung terminology. But may mga iba't ibang diverse stories that are out there na hindi ako makarelate. So I just want to be able to release something na mas makarelate ako. Gano'n.
Yeah, oo nga.
Um, but then there's also part of me that wants to um, get back to another older comic I made back in high school. It's this title called Zone Weaver. It's your standard normal person gets isekai to a fantasy world and um, becomes part of that world as a hero there. And it was sort of like my love letter to this old computer game called Fantasy Star. I don't know if you're familiar with that game. Fantasy Star was a video game. Well, Fantasy Star 3 was a video game wherein you start out as a hero, but later you play 2 to 3 generations of that hero.
Mm.
Kasi gano'n ka-expansive yung timeline ng game. And that inspired me when I made that comic way back when I was young. So I kind of want to revisit that and make something like that. But I have to finish Diliman muna. Horror muna bago fantasy.
So, Diliman would be finished in your ETA mo or personal deadline mo. When do you think Diliman will be finished?
Officially, I wanted it. Well, when it was the webcomic, by now dapat tapos na siya. But now that it's an actual release, I'm trying to be a bit more professional with how I'm doing every page. So, nahihiya ako ng konti pag hindi ko masyado gusto yung art at inuulit ko siya. So, volume 1's done as far as parang minor tweaks and edits na lang, but it's done na. So, that's 270 pages. For volume 2, which is episode 7 to episodes 13, I'm illustrating episode 7. I've sort of storyboarded 8 and 9 na. And then in
So
terms of drafted
definitely
the story,
this year, volume 1 will be available, probably in
yes,
Peacock.
volume 1 out has to come out this year. I'm hoping first quarter.
Also first
Volume
quarter
2, if
earlier
I'm
pa.
lucky, well, I'm hoping first quarter kasi I don't know kung kayang earlier pa because of, di ba, parang printing will need at least a month eh.
Yeah,
So,
more or less.
yung parang, di ba, parang they'll go through the proofs and then i-approve mo
Yeah.
pa and then, so parang mga 1 month yan. So, so assuming, let's say, mag-start sila mag-printing this January, di ba ka Feb, makukuha ko na yung stock. Di ba ka start ng March, yun, pwede na siyang bilhin. And then volume 2, at the rate we're going, baka next year, first quarter then. But ideally, malabas ko siya fourth quarter this year kasi sayang yung momentum.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Ang hirap ng print.
Yeah, mahirap yung print. Yun
Ang
talaga.
hirap ng kasi kahit yung kung facing or reverse page, iniisip ko na yon sa layout.
Mm.
Kasi dati, iniisip ko lang kung
Uh,
pag-reveal ng page, yun yung, di ba? Kasi for horror and for thrillers, you want to have that momentum of tension.
yung jump scare sa print is
Oo,
different. It
and nasa
has to
scroll lang
be
yon.
on like the odd page. Para
No, baka it's something you want na mare-reveal at okay lang na hindi pa nabasa yung earlier page for that moment makita yon, or it's something they'll see on the reverse page. So, ang hirap iplano rin eh.
as in iba rin. Like yun nga. Like with film directors going the comics route, you have to relearn
Mm,
yung beats of how you tell a story pag print.
yeah, yun yung isa sa feedback sa akin ni Paolo na parang, Toby, masyado kang film mag-isip dito. Kailangan mong gawing mas comics. And admittedly kasi also, I'm in lack of a better word, I'm choosing to trust my readers, which might be to my detriment. So there's a lot in the comic that I'm not outright explaining. Kasi I feel like if the reader chooses to look back and study paano nangyari yon, they'll see the clues were there pala. but I don't outright say it. So that was something kasi I enjoyed when I was reading some comics. So I kind of wanted that present, but I know it might work against me that I'm not saying it directly.
Oo nga. Kasi like you should like think then that most of the readers right now is yung attention span nila is like not that they don't
Mm-mm.
really scrutinize the page as much as we did before because they were
Mm-mm.
instant gratification. You have to read everything. Tapos they rely on like YouTube channels like New Rock Stars to to explain everything to them.
Which is sort of what I'm kind of hoping will happen, that when the book finally comes out, someone might make a video to help others understand it.
Yeah.
And kasi parang nahihinayan ako if I spoon feed some of the reveals because I like seeding them and letting them be something people might find on their own.
And it's parang mas more rewarding for the readers. Like, parang ano yun
Mm.
eh, achievement unlock. If they like, oh, ano ko to, na first, nakita ko to dun sa, ng, ano eh, unang pages.
So like I might, like in an earlier issue, mention something in passing, and then in a later issue that's relevant but not directly cited.
Which was
But then if you look
what
back,
I was
parang, ay, oo
saying
nga,
when I
no?
was rereading your work nga, na parang I appreciated the commentary on the first few chapters.
Kaya yun. Medyo ambitious, but wala eh. It's my comeback after 20 years. So I'm thinking I might as well be ambitious. And if people hate it, then that's fine. I was
So for
gone
the
for 20
readers,
years.
the entire first book of the Liman blog is on Blogspot. The entire
Mm-mm.
run. So I'll put down yung link
Yeah.
so you could
I,
read
I,
it.
I beg you all, please don't cancel me. It is a product of its time. It has questionable language. It has questionable moments, but it's a honest product of its time.
And yun nga, and if you are now getting to yung generation now, it's really nice to see yung work ni Toby during earlier years when he was starting out as a creator. Favorite part ko yun, lagi kong sinasabi with the creators that I talk to, that karamihan sa kanila, they don't want yung old works nila to be seen by people. Pero
Mm.
for creators kasi maganda siyang learning experience to see where a
Yes.
creator has started from and how yung
Yes.
works nila has evolved. Kasi makikita din nila with their own works yun eh. So, yung early works, the earliest or ganyan, it's always nice to see yung work ng creator side by side with yung more current work nila.
Thank you. And then I agree. I like looking at how far people have gotten with their work. Then it's always fascinating to see then the development and growth. It allows me to also look at my own stuff and appreciate more.
Mm.
In as much as I don't feel I'm an artist, the way I see other people who do comic art really well, um, it allows me to also acknowledge, parang, oh nga, gumanda nga yung gawa ko. Kahit pa paano, kahit palpak pa rin anatomy ko every now and then, malaki pa rin ang tinalon from
Parang
that.
ano naman eh, it's not fine art, kumbaga. It's not technical art. It's
Mm,
if it conveys the story, it it's clear and it moves yung story.
mm,
That's yung goal lang ng art form mo dun sa comics mo.
yeah. I'm even curious to see if there would be any lines that would again resonate with the readers. I mean, for those who remembered my work, they'd always tease me how "Ride Me Horsey"
Yeah.
was
I read that in the commentary kanina.
it was such a prominent line for so many people, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought of it, but yeah.
Pero ano rin yan eh. I attended a comics congress tapos one of the speakers was si Pablo Gomez. One of yung mga preeminent writers ng comics dati. Tapos lagi niya sinasabi, isa sa magandang sinabi niya is like, pag sulat ka ng comics, think of a dialogue that will stick to your readers' minds.
Mm-mm.
Like yung mga linya sa mga movie ni Sharon Cuneta, di ba? Yung bukas,
Mm-mm.
bangon ako, durugin kita. Mga ganun
Mm-mm.
linya.
Or nothing but a trying hard,
Di ba?
copycat. Yeah, the quotable quotes.
Quotable quotes. As in, it's nice to put them in your comics.
Yeah, it's just tricky then sometimes kasi like in my case, I'm approaching Diliman as an international comic even from the onset. So I try to minimize purely Filipino Tagalog
Mm.
statements. If you notice in the book, it's a lot of English with some Tagalog as expressions or as ano. Because I wanted to make it parang from the onset, even a foreigner can appreciate reading it, even if they don't quite get everything. Um, but then I learned very quickly na even local audiences, um, the the term salamangkero I discovered was not common enough na pala.
Yeah.
So I had younger readers who were so like I was in this event in I think it was in Cebu, and then I was with some younger filmmakers in the for this we were part of this workshop seminar thing, and then I was doing comic pages on the side, and then curious, so they wanted to read, and then when they were reading, yun nga nagulat ako yung question ng isa, so ano yung salamangkero? And I was like nakatingin lang sa kanya na parang wait, are you serious? So it ended up being in the comic na I had the younger girl reading the comic and Lola, what's a salamangkero? Kasi I realized, my God, I was so thinking it was such a common term na.
Parang
Hindi
like
pala.
if you watch a local film from the 80s, yung colloquial, yung conversational Tagalog nila would be like malalim na for the people
Mm-mm.
watching it now.
And it again is always that fascinating thing about when you make these works, especially if you're trying to show different periods. Me and my ambition, and trying to show a lot of the different timelines in this comic. Um, there's that. Do I try to be faithful and write it, but then it might be harder for the reader to parse,
I,
diba? Or do I keep it conversational and then just add na lang some hints
I
to
have
show
a
the time?
question nga pala kasi I read it and then you were head hopping in other chapters, meaning you change point of view,
Hmm.
di ba? Do you find it easier to write that way instead of like there's an overall a third person point of view?
Yeah. So again, that's me trusting my readers will, if they want to, they'll try to understand it more. It's sorry, it's an intentional. I don't know who the narrator is,
Mm.
and then
This,
later
uh,
you get the answer, but then it changes your perspective on some of the scenes.
mm. Because that's
So it's
this very experimental way of writing. Is there's
and very dangerous.
uh,
Kasi nga it can get the reader lost.
uh, I,
But I
I guess
kind of
I had
like
an
that
editor before
idea.
that like told me not to do that.
Yeah, Paolo's telling me that. But I'm like, I want it there. I'm sorry.
Pero it
It's
works, especially the point of view of the Phil Am
mm-mm.
when he tripped to Sikihor.
Yes, that was one of the big shifts in the old book wherein bigla na lang
Uh,
the person we don't know anything about is suddenly the
that's
narrator
the
of the
point
book.
of view nung yung chapter name was her point of
Mm-mm.
view. So parang it was like a break from the storytelling, pero it
Mm-mm.
works.
With that one page of text in the art because I wanted to reflect how she could not understand everything but she was in the moment. Yung kumakatay ang gaya at nagnanarrate pero wala parang hindi mo mababasa lahat. Yeah, I do that sort of thing. I like ano yan, influence yan ng there's this old series of books called Griffin and Sabine where the experience was it was about two people exchanging letters. So the books literally had postcards and letters in
Mm,
between pages. And then sometimes you'd open, but then the letter, the handwriting gets parang nabasa sa ulan, so it's hard to read. So I like that feeling of just the process of reading had an additional emotional effect on you. So I kind of try doing that na rin in some of the pages. In fact, in the new book, it's again one of the feedback Paulo's asking me to change, but I'm fighting against him. I am using some patterns na masakit sa mata.
Okay.
And he's like, don't use this, masakit tignan. And I was like, that's my point. So
So
he's
ano
like, we'll
lang
have to
siya,
have a call.
as
And
in
I'm
may
like,
added level of experience with reading it. As in,
and and it also kasi visually becomes a callback in a later part in the story. Wherein, parang whenever you see that pattern, okay, yung pala yung nangyayari nun. So it's that sort of thing that I'm trying to do that I like. Um, it's like having visual motifs that are present but are not explained, but then later you kind of connect to it. So parang ganun eh. It's sort of like how some movies, parang whenever this character appears, yung lighting yellow, and then we learn later kasi multo pala siya.
yeah.
Yung ganun
Parang
eh.
mga
It's
nuances like nag-iiba yung color treatment ng
mm,
mga bagay kasi may
and
intention behind it, hindi lang parang
and and the challenge of course for me is I'm working on a black and white comic. So I'm trying to find different ways to convey it. So like one of the things I'm doing also now, I shift font to show that the voice is not saying something the same way.
hmm.
So
So
like there's
that's a good point then for the creators kasi yun nga yung little things that you change about the details about your comics make it mean something, hindi lang siya parang cool siya tingnan, it adds
but
a
it's
layer
also
to
a
the story, di ba?
language, parang it's a narrative language that you're trusting the reader to pick up on if they get confused. Kasi hirap din eh, di ba? Parang, um,
Sinasabi nga nila yung reading comics is meron din siya learning curve to read comics kasi it's
mm-mm.
different from reading like pure text na
Which, di ba? Yung parang pag bold, alam mong sinimisigaw, but you know, you have to learn that then, di ba? So,
uh,
parang yun, I'm trusting the readers to take the time to grasp it. And then if they don't, I'm sorry. But I tried.
gagawa natin ng video to explain.
Oh, pwede explainer video. Baka nga, no? Parang page one. Oh, ito, nagets niyo ba? Maybe I should do that. Sana pag sumikat yung comic, di ba? Why not?
I'm sure you'll find the audience naman. Parang lagi naman sinasabi with the conversation, like si Sir Randy said that you have to find time din and you have to let yung book mo have yung time na
Mm-mm.
maghanap ng audience niya. But eventually, the audience will find it.
I even went, so like, as I mentioned nga, di ba, na-depressed ako sa reception ng previous book. Because I felt it was mostly ignored, even if I know factually it wasn't naman. But there was a part of me that felt bad about it. With this new book, I kind of embraced a new philosophy and how I'm approaching it. Kasi, yun. So I was saying parang I embraced a new philosophy with this new book. I told myself na whether or not ma-feel kong may pumansin is not important. Ang isipin ko na lang, you know, William Shakespeare during his time was not popular. He was parang considered a hack with his work, but people didn't really see it as important or as masterpiece or anything, diba? Many painters during the time they were alive, their work was I don't know, ridiculed, made fun of, whatever. But then centuries later, they're seen as they're hailed as masters, they're appreciated better, and etc. etc. And I tell myself na lang, all of us, we have no idea 100 years from now whose works will be recognized, whose works will be noticed. Diba? For all we know, Britney fucking Spears might be seen as the next Mozart. We don't know. And that's the joy of being a creator. Just get our stuff out there,
Yes.
hope and pray that some miracle happens and we'll find a chance to know how much lives we've touched, but just get it out there and
Mm.
embrace na lang the fact that in my case, I had something to tell, and there will be people who'll appreciate it.
Yeah. I guess that's your advice to the creators. Kasi the fact that you finished your story is parang um even if you think na walang nagbabasa is achievement enough. And you don't know sino matatouch nung work mo, 'di ba? Parang if you stopped it midway kasi you think nobody is paying attention to it, lalong walang magpapansin yan kasi it's not finished.
Mm-mm. True. And then there's always that fear of parang will my work be original enough or will my work be interesting enough? Like even when I was working on this new book, one of my fears was ikukumpara ako ng tao na parang hala may kumagaya sa 13. And I actually voiced it out on social media na parang awaiting the inevitable accusations that I'm copying 13. Ganyan. Thankfully, uh, Budget noticed my
Yeah,
post
it's here on the
and he
blurb.
responded. Well, that's because he responded. And when he responded and told me na parang no, tell them I was also inspired by your work dati and
See?
I asked him permission na parang can I put that as a blurb kasi people won't know and I think I
People
will.
won't know that it predates stress. Eh.
Yeah. And I'm happy that the world can have both, 'di ba? And the
And
world can
it's
have even
totally
more.
different, Manuel. May mga crossovers like with the themes, but it's totally different from each other.
Mm. So ako, just get your stuff out kasi even if it's similar, your perspective will still make it
Yeah,
different unless naman you're intentionally.
like yun nga, unless intentionally you copied it per, beat by beat, story wise and
Mm,
art wise, your personal experiences, your personal point of view would make it unique, even if it's the same concept.
yeah. And in the end, they're all symbols. They're all icons. They're all meant to be interpreted by the viewer.
Hmm.
'Di ba? And it's those interpretations that can breed further creativity. I mean, that's the point of copyright. Eh. Copyright does not exist really to. I mean, we're using it as protection of your idea. But the real intention of copyright is not to protect the idea, but to inspire more evolutions.
Hmm.
'Di ba? Parang this is already existing, wag mo nang gayahin. Gawa ka na ng iba.
Gawa ka ng iba.
Yun yung point ng copyright. And um the of course the utility is ginaya niya yung work ko. So I mean yun yung naging utility niya. And IPO Phil has been also pushing to help. Diba? It's now easier to register your ideas. It's now your creations. Dati naalala ko yung ano pa eh. You'll mail yourself a package of your works. Hindi mo bubuksan para yung stamp
Ay,
legal
ayun
proof.
yung ano mo, yung proof mo that you, no,
Oo.
upload mo lang, meron ka ng timestamp.
Now you can, oo. So, 'di ba? Ang laki ng ano, ang laki. Tsaka yung IPO film mismo, yung Intellectual Property Office ng Philippines. Madali na mag-register ng work. You can do it through a form online and then konting requirements na lang. So, I appreciate na merong ganun. Ang kulang na lang talaga is maging mas madali maging creator, 'di ba? Sana mas maraming programs to help fund projects at hindi sobrang bilang lang. Sana madali maging corporate para maging company. Singapore, parang wala pang isang oras, pwede ka na magkumpanya eh. Tapos may tax rebate ka pa, may tax ano ka pa for ilang years.
Mm.
Dito, oh my God.
Wala, hard mode kasi Pilipinas.
Ay, nako. But yeah. Ay, nakakatakot pa rin. Nakakatakot pa rin yung gumawa. Kasi you're always worried that someone might get um, insulted or feel attacked by your work, di ba?
Ay, yeah.
There's
As in, yung current climate with creation, ganun, medyo ganun. Pero as long as wala ka naman talagang ill intent with your work, uh, unless
Ang hirap
meron,
ang
unless
hirap
meron
din
ka
kasi
talaga.
ng yeah, ang hirap lang kasi din kasi na it's hard to ignore the legitimately affected naman.
Yeah.
Like for example, maybe you're really working on a Philippine inspired story and then you're drawing inspiration from this cultural aspect. But then maka people from that culture feel naman na
You're
misrepresented sila.
mis
So even if you didn't intend naman to misrepresent, you're just drawing inspiration.
yeah.
So ang hirap din minsan kasi um there's the mindset na basta based on the Philippines, we're all together trying to uplift our culture. But then there's also the perspective minsan na that culture is not as vocal in Manila.
Mm,
So tuloy, to use that culture is an affront.
yeah. Or
No?
parang misappropriation of
Mhm. And there's
cultural
valid
stuff.
concerns on that also. I just parang wish there were clearer distinctions of I'm simply inspired by it and I want to celebrate that I'm not, a foreign country. I'm in the Philippines. And not necessarily I'm, you know, kasi may how many levels will you go?
Actually,
How deep?
itong topic na to is like good for an hour pa, with lots of
Mm,
inputs with other kasi there's like you could be referencing something and you could referencing it academically that you're adapting it, or
mm,
it's you were just like inspired by it and you did a new story inspired by it. So it's two different things. Kasi yun nga, if they're accusing you of misrepresenting something, are you really saying that it's that part
that
kung
you're representing. Yeah.
or is if you're just influenced by it, then you were just like fascinated with it and you did like your take on it, but it's not really like academically
Mm,
referenced. That's a different thing.
mm. But as a creator, that's parang one of the new things now that we have to navigate. That we have to at least be careful and not
Uh,
super carefree and just pulling inspiration from any.
Kaya, oo nga. So
Yeah.
yun. Thank you for the time, sir.
Mahirap maging matanda.
Okay, as in pag matanda, ang dami mo na iniisip. Pag bata ka, parang, di, gagawin ko to, ba? Alam ko.
Oo eh. Pag bata ka kasi pwedeng sagot, wala kang alam. Pag mas matanda ka na, parang feeling mo, you should know
Tanda-tanda mo
better.
na, di mo alam yan.
But yeah, thank you for having me here. It feels very good to be seen. It feels very good to be part of this. Sabi mo nga kanina, na-intimidate ka. Ako mismo, na-intimidate ako nga kasi feeling ko for eternal salingkit eh. So thank you so much for letting me be part of this.
Okay lang yan kasi parang, kung salingkit ka, mas salingkit ako.
Ano ka ba? You're part of the existing industry. People know you by name.
Uh, Yun nga, they just know me by name. Kasi lagi lang ako nandun.
Yeah,
Pero
lahat
yun
tayo
nga,
salingkit.
thank you. As in, parang, thank you not just for the time, but parang nung, when I was starting out, parang big part of like checking the mailing list every day was like checking out your work pag nagpo-post ka doon and the other
Mm.
creators work. As in, sobrang laking bagay ngayon that the social media that marami tayong nakikita that post
Mm.
about their works. Kasi before you have to like join message boards, you have to join
Web
mailing
rings. Mga
web
web ring
rings
dati.
yan. So ngayon mas mabilis like if your algorithm like shows that you like this stuff, papakita sa iyo ni
Mm. Pero ang tricky rin kasi it's harder now to encounter new things.
What's that?
Kasi the algorithm will
Yeah, oo
favor
nga.
already.
Parang mas masaya nung earlier days ni Facebook.
Yeah, parang we need to revive a mailing list lang where all creators send updates.
Matagal ko na to sinasabi sa kanila, let's do a message board again.
Tapos parang basta upload lang ng lahat parang may one channel of everyone's
Diba? I
creations na
remember message boards dati. You post like what the artwork that you did that day. Tapos they would like, oo nga, they would like comment
mm,
on it. Of course, meron mga sabi sa pangit. So,
hindi naman mawawala
ayun
yan.
naman yun eh. It's the same with social media naman ngayon.
And diba, the adage, we don't like everyone, so we can't expect everyone to like us.
Para namang, yeah. As in, you can't please everyone. Pero, yeah. But you'll find your own people naman. So, it balances out.
And then, now with the internet making a lot of things possible, let's just hope na lang that we can, raise the tide for everyone.
Yeah, that's an important thing to remember na parang if yung a rising tide rises yung lahat ng boats, right? So parang hindi maganda na maghilahan pa tayo or anything. Just push comics as in general as a whole.
Diba? We now have comics discussed in universities. We now actually have people writing thesis based on comics.
May philosophy books based on on Tres. I was
diba?
like
So
surprised.
it's a rich growing field that we just I know we'll need more supporters in positions of power. I mean, if can you just imagine if the comic creators were celebrated the way film people are, diba? Sayang.
Maybe in the future. Ano man yan? Baby steps.
Yeah. We need more comic people to get into politics.
I think most of the comic people are too smart to get into politics.
Kausapin na natin yung mga legends kasi they're old enough na to be running in office.
So, and with that, thank you, Sir Toby. Thank you. More power. For those who are, ulitin ko lang for those who are listening, read yung Diliman blog. As in, the whole entire run of it is in Blogspot. Tapos by Diliman Generation now. I have a copy.
Yeah, the limited edition first episode is available on Secret Headquarters.
Secret Headquarters. And
Comic
this year,
wherever you
lalabas
find
yung
Comic
Volume 1. So,
yes,
follow
yun
you,
ang goal
Sister
this year.
Toby. I'll put yung links niya sa...
Yes, please.
And again, thank you for listening in. Share nyo to sa mga lahat that you would think be interested in Filipino comics. Like nyo na rin yung video, subscribe sa channel, and join me for other conversations.
Thank you.